Beginning, the refugee in the storm. The wind howled across the barren plains of Eridani IV, a world scarred by centuries of war and now frozen beneath layers of metallic dust. Lieutenant Marcus Hale pulled his tattered coat closer, the flickering light from his campfire painting restless shadows against the hull of his half-buried dropship. He had been alone here for 32 days, surviving on recycled air and ration bars while waiting for the retrieval signal that never came. The Union War had ended 3 months ago, or so they said. Communications were fractured, navigation beacons dead. Marcus had fought on the losing side of a forgotten battle, then crash-landed in this wasteland, a single man with too much silence to fill. That night, as the storm intensified, his motion sensors flickered. Something was moving outside the perimeter. Marcus reached for his sidearm and activated his helmet's visor feed. Through the static, he saw a faint figure stumbling through the ash, slender, cloaked, carrying something bundled close to her chest. He almost didn't open the airlock. The last time he'd trusted a stranger, it nearly cost him his life. But the way the figure collapsed against the outer hatch, her movements desperate, exhausted, triggered something buried deep within him. He keyed the lock. The storm rushed in, followed by the figure. The cloak peeled back, revealing luminous violet eyes and skin patterned like silver starlight. An alien woman. She was trembling violently, her breathing shallow, the bundle in her arms shifting slightly. A child. Marcus lowered his weapon slowly. "You're far from home," he said. Her voice was a whisper, soft but steady. "Please, we have nowhere else to go." Marcus stared at her for a long moment, torn between caution and instinct. Finally, he gestured toward the heat lamp near the corner. "Sit there," he said quietly. "You and the kid." She bowed her head. "Thank you, human." Middle a fragile piece. Her name was Leora. Her child, barely 3 cycles old, was Tay. Over the next several days, they barely spoke beyond necessities. Marcus provided them with heat and water. She repaired his power cells with knowledge far beyond his understanding. Through fragmented conversations, he learned that she was from the Veari Dominion, a species once considered extinct after the Union's campaign wiped their homeworld from the charts. Her mate, a Veari officer, had been killed in the last assault. She and her child had fled across half the sector, hunted by scavengers and bounty ships. "They think the Dominion died with my people," she said one evening, sitting near the dim glow of the fire. "But the Dominion isn't a planet. It's an idea, one that never truly dies." Marcus watched her as she spoke. Her tone was calm, but there was grief behind every word. Tay was asleep beside her, the child's small bioluminescent veins pulsing gently like threads of living light. "You're lucky to have survived that long," Marcus said. "The Union doesn't usually leave witnesses." Leora met his eyes. "They didn't leave me alive. I fought my way out." There was silence for a moment. Then she smiled faintly. "You humans think you understand war. But you still believe survival means victory." Marcus didn't argue. He simply poured another ration of tea into her cup. Over time the routine grew familiar. The silence between them softened. Tay began to laugh again, playing with Marcus's tools and following him around the camp like a curious shadow. But deep down, Marcus felt something uneasy, a question he hadn't asked. One night, when the storm finally cleared and the stars returned, he asked it, "Why come here, Leora? This planet isn't on any trade route. It's dead." Leora hesitated, eyes reflecting the firelight. "Because," she said finally, "Eridani IV hides something the galaxy forgot existed." Marcus frowned. "What are you talking about?" She looked at him, and for the first time, there was something fierce in her gaze. Something ancient. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Try me. Leora reached into her cloak and drew out a small metallic shard, glowing faintly with blue runes. This is called a seed. One of 12 that once powered the Veari Nexus, the device that kept our empire alive for millennia. Marcus stared at it, stunned. You're saying your empire's technology survived the purge? More than that, she said softly. The Nexus isn't just a machine. It can reshape reality, bend space, time, and even life itself. The Union wanted it destroyed because they feared it. But they never found the final seed. I did. She turned the shard in her hand, its light pulsing with an almost living rhythm. And now they will come for it. The threat returns. The next morning, Marcus woke to a distant hum. At first, he thought it was the wind, until the radar picked up a blip descending fast through the clouds. Leora, he shouted. We've got incoming. She was already standing near the viewport, clutching Tay. Her face was pale. Union scouts, she said. They found us. Marcus rushed to the console, activating the ship's defense turrets. Half broken, half hopeful. The blip became 3, then 5. Dropcraft. Armed and scanning. Can they track the seed? He asked. Not yet, she said. But they will if they detect my energy signature. I have to leave. You'll die out there, Marcus snapped. The storm will kill you before they do. Then help me hide it, she said. Help me protect what's left of my people. Marcus stared at her, at Tay, at the fear in their eyes. He'd already lost too many in his life. His crew, his home, his purpose. He wasn't about to add them to that list. All right, he said quietly. We'll make them think you're already dead. Plan. Marcus led Leora and Tay to the lower maintenance deck, a narrow chamber lined with coolant pipes and burnt circuitry. He used an old plasma cutter to create a decoy heat signature on the far ridge. Meanwhile, Leora placed the seed inside the ship's reactor casing, masking its energy output. When the Union craft landed, Marcus stayed near the hatch, his rifle steady. He recognized their insignia, the same unit that had bombed his battalion during the war. Through the comm, a metallic voice called out, "Identify yourself, soldier." Marcus replied coldly, "Lieutenant Hale, 23rd Recon. Downed vessel, no survivors but me." There was a pause, then static. The voice returned. "We're detecting alien life signatures, Lieutenant." Marcus's pulse quickened. "That's impossible." The voice hardened. "We'll see for ourselves." The door exploded inward. Marcus fired, the plasma bolt slicing through armor. The fight was brutal, short, and desperate. 2 soldiers fell before one tackled him to the ground. Marcus twisted, disarming the trooper, then slammed his helmet into the soldier's visor. Sparks flew. Silence followed. When it was over, Marcus was bleeding, his armor cracked, but alive. Leora emerged from the shadows, clutching Tay close. "You didn't have to do that," she whispered. "Yes, I did," he replied. "Because you were right. Survival isn't victory, but sometimes it's all we can do." She looked at him with something more than gratitude, something ancient and tender. "You remind me of him," she said softly. "Your mate." She nodded. He would have done the same. The revelation. Over the following days, Marcus repaired the ship using salvaged parts from the wrecked Union crafts. Leora helped stabilize the reactor, her hands moving gracefully across panels designed for humans, and somehow improving them.